Liam Neeson plus trains equals awesome. But let's hope he fares better than the last time he was on a train. I'm looking at you, Batman Begins. The Commuter. First of all, once again, Liam Neeson is awesome. He not only kicks his usual amount of butt in this film, but before he does that, he humanizes his character. We feel the pain that he feels after he gets put into the situation he ends up in. We feel his sense of paranoia leading up to when he gets into his role. And we feel his desperation as he tries to dig himself out of the grave he's basically put himself in. We also feel like if we were him, we would probably do what he did, given the tools we had. Now for the villain. Vera Farmiga is, sorry to keep using this word, awesome. She plays as a sinister mother, which is a little kind of on the nose since she played Norma Bates in the Psycho series, Bates Motel, plug. But she just feels like she's someone's mom, but at the same time, she feels like a gangster or a member of the Illuminati. She's just evil, but comforting. I don't know how else to put it. She's evil, but she's comforting. You want to have dinner with her and tell her about your day, but you don't want to get on her bad side. Because snipers. As for the rest of the train goers, they really felt like a slice of humanity. Like, you could probably see these particular people every day, along with the multitude of other goers. But the regulars, you feel like you know them, but you actually don't. And any one of them could be hiding a sinister agenda. It really sold the paranoia that Neeson was demonstrating about these people. His family was there. They're usually a plot point. And they did their part. They weren't terrible, but at the same time, they weren't noteworthy. No, scratch that. They were noteworthy, they just weren't memorable. But they did their part. As for the setting, it was perfect. The way the film was shot, the angles, the pan-outs, the close-ups, whatnot, it really made you feel like you were isolated, despite that being a New York City train. It was like being on an island with possible convicts. You didn't know who to trust, and you were alone in a crowd. It really drove home the terror of the situation. As for the effects, did I say that already? Well, anyway, the effects. They used a real train, they used a ton of practical stuff, and the CG, that was only used when absolutely necessary. If this had been done in a pre-CG era, they probably would have used toy models. And I think they would have gotten the same effect. But what they did do was very well done. This movie felt like a classic black and white detective story. Something like Dick Tracy without the cheese or the makeup effect villains. Honestly, I think this film could have been done in the 50s, the 80s, or now. It felt somewhat timeless. Like, as long as there was a train to be on, you could easily do this story. Now, I didn't see Murder on the Orient Express, any version, but I know the basic story. And honestly, I think this film, depending on the acting and the other train films, probably would be counted above that particular story. Basically, if you like detective movies, and if you're okay with trains, and if you're a Liam Neeson fan, or a Vera Farmiga fan, or get this, a Sam Neill fan, you might want to see The Commuter. This is Mr. J, rolling down the tracks.